live from wherever they happen to be. It's Fortune Radio with your hosts, Aaron Silverstein and David Bearwalls.
This is Fortune Radio. You
Oh.
got David here, you got Aaron here, we got X here, and Kirk on remote.
Yeah, hey Kirk, will you look up and see what the name of the religion is of the people that worship Saturn?
Will do.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab my list.
Religions that worship Saturn? Yeah. Yeah,
That's interesting to me.
anything that worships a black cube.
What do you mean a black cube?
Black cube or a black square?
Like, there's religions that worship a black square?
So, Saturn can be represented symbolically as a black cube or a black square. For instance, I believe
I feel like vaguely I've seen this somewhere.
yes, it's
And like on
all throughout imagery.
Yeah,
a
okay.
lot of religious beliefs. So if we look at some of the Masonic paintings and things like that, they have like a black checkerboard, and even in some of their paintings, you'll see like a black cube.
So does the planet of Saturn have significance in it, or is it the rings, or is it just the name?
So it's all like, when it comes to us, like I believe it dates back to like ancient society and like us looking at the stars.
So there's like some astrology.
A lot of astrology. So basically, I believe that there was like a hyper advanced society at some point, and this is where a lot of the mythos from like all the different religions comes from. That there was like influence from not even necessarily like different beings from a different world. It could have been, but like imagine somebody with modern technology in the ancient world, right? Mm-hmm. They'd be seen as gods. They'd be worshipped.
Absolutely.
And then so imagine the tales of them after a like major extinction event, and like you're just explaining like, oh yeah, this guy, he had an airplane, and they're like, what the fuck is an airplane? He's like, oh, it's this metal thing and it flies. And they're like, what? You know what I'm saying? Metal can't fly. Metal's heavy as fuck.
Try explaining Bluetooth to some fucking ancient, caveman guy, or fucking the internet or whatever else. Like, there's a lot of shit that we can't even comprehend. We can't even understand.
I couldn't even explain it to you.
1,000 years.
Right? Yeah, like how long would it take you to build a cell phone if everything completely, if all of society broke down, everything completely malfunctioned, and we went back to zero? How long would it take you to develop a cell phone?
Yeah, or do you just learn from the mistakes we already made developing one, and just maybe just skip out on that next time?
I'm just saying, from step A to Z, like, dude, that's quite a fucking a jump. I mean, dude, we'd be using fucking stick tools and fucking, you know what I'm saying? A bow and arrow would be a stretch.
Smoke signals.
Literally.
Hey.
But so that's actually
I'm catching up now.
It's actually very poignant that you mention a cell phone, because so imagine the tales of these heroes and these kings that did consider themselves gods, probably, right? And 1,000 years of the telephone game, from all these different perspectives, which was like the basis of all these different societies, right? So like you can look at it like, of course people are going to begin to worship these people, because they literally went so hard that anything you say about them to an undeveloped group of people will sound like magic. It'll sound like some kind of miraculous thing, which it very well might have been, but like, what is magic besides freaking chemistry and fucking
their sleight of hand is a lot of magic too.
I mean, look at
modern magic is,
You look at religion, it's like these fools came in and they could read. Nobody could read. So these fools could read, and
that was during the Dark Ages.
These motherfuckers can read. I'll listen to them. What do they have to say? It's like
that was during the Dark Ages.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Literacy rates have varied between many different ages and many different cultures. But yeah, that is why they had so much control during the Dark Ages, and that is why religion was just so crucial to their society. After the fall of Rome, they changed the power that they had from a militaristic type of power into a religious, spiritual type of power.
Power, man. It's like that's what you go after.
Vatican
Once
is still right where it's like in the center of Rome.
Once you get the money, that's the next step. Because once you have enough money to buy anything that you want, power is the next thing that you want. Power. And what is power anyways? It's just being able to control somebody. What? Power. It's like, I mean, what? It's selfish.
The ability to be the guy that makes decisions.
The guy that makes the
for
call.
other people.
I think power is more of a dynamic concept than just being able to control some other person. I think, for one, you could interpret it as control over yourself. And another way you could interpret it is your actual internal abilities to perceive the world and to interact with it.
Powerful.
I mean, that is like the greatest power, right? If you can adapt,
awareness,
or manipulate the world around you to benefit you. I mean, what greater power is there then? I mean, that's basically that. It basically is it. I mean, you could do anything you want if you had that power. Right?
Well, understanding as well. So, even if you can't manipulate something, right? If you can understand what it is, you can control yourself to act accordingly. Mm-hmm. Like surfing, for instance, right? You're not really manipulating the water. I mean, like you kind of are, like on the very surface of the water, you're manipulating to it, but you're not even just adapting, you're just riding the wave. Mm-hmm. You're existing on that, like, say 20-foot wave for an extreme example. And dang, where was I going with that? But yeah, basically, like, you can still have
you can't control the wave, you can't control the ocean, you can't control the power the ocean has.
Yeah.
But you do have some power
over yourself.
Yeah, over yourself and how you react to what the ocean does.
I like the metaphor of riding a wave. Like, I don't know, lately I've been thinking about that when it comes to life. Like, you see these waves coming in, these sets of waves coming in, and you're like, am I going to take this wave or not? Hopefully it's the right wave. Hopefully it breaks right. Hopefully it's a decent wave and it just doesn't just wash out. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I can ride this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's like life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just, and another wave will come.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But in between you riding that wave and the other wave coming, there's a low.
You got to wait.
That's the other side of it, you know.
You got to be patient.
Yeah. Water, like water is a great way that we've like gained at least a little bit of perspective on the probability field of the universe pretty much collapsing as a wave becomes a particle. Like, imagine like a snowflake freezing. Like, the water is amorphous, and the only thing that can basically influence the shape of a snowflake is the actual frequencies in the waters, like the vibration of the water and the frequencies of that vibration as it's freezing and becoming a snowflake. It's like the double slits experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, positive or negative energy can affect the way water molecules freeze. That's real. That's real life. It seems like it'd be magic. I don't know. I can't get over it. Back to like when we were talking about different senses. We have like over 20 senses or whatever senses exceeding our regular 5 senses.
I'm assuming.
Well, it's like there's so much.
I believe we've had more, and I've heard of there being more, but there's definitely at least that 6th sense that I know for sure exists.
Are you out of here?
No, I'm coming back.
All right, cool.
Should be back in like 5.
Is there any chaw?
Yeah.
X.
Another thing is like future sight. That could be another sense. So I was like, okay, like all these things about premonitions sound so crazy, but what we do understand is that the theoretical particle known as tachyons, they actually move so fast that they're supposed to travel back in time. And perhaps your subconscious mind or whatever level of consciousness that can interpret these tachyons and the patterns, you know, that that they're making, they could create an image in your mind, your subconscious, or even your conscious mind, and you could actually perceive the future before it happens.
Yeah, I have dreams that I've considered prophetic.
Premonitions.
And, premonitions. My sister gets them too. We've talked about them, and I was always kind of. It was always like, oh, this is strange deja vu. This is strange deja vu. And then I had one experience where I could place what was happening to me in a dream that I'd had not long before. Like when it started getting like closer and closer. Like a lot of times now when I feel deja vu, it's like, wait a minute, have I dreamt about this? Is that where I'm feeling this deja vu from? I don't think it's like an unnatural phenomenon. I think that like, yeah, there's something in your subconscious mind.
Every single culture in the history of the planet has talked about this.
Yeah.
The dream state really interests me, man.
The theta state, right?
The what state?
The theta state. So there's the alpha state, which is normal conscious thinking. There's a beta state, which is a little bit more high frequency, and then there's a theta state, which is when you're in a trance or when you're in a dream or when you're doing some like yogic shit. You know what I'm saying? You enter the theta state. Also, as a child, you remain in the theta state for like the first 7 years of your life or somewhere around that, I believe.
That's fucking nuts. And to have no recollection whatsoever until you're what, 3? When's your first memory, David? What's your first memory?
I mean, just like off the top of my head, it's not even close to 3, man. Probably.
Was it older or younger?
So I have memories in like, so it's a little easy for me because so I moved here when I was 8 years old. I had memories before I was 8, but not a lot. Memories of here moving. So I'd say like my first memories are probably 6, 5,
yeah.
but then like you have very vague, toddler memories of, like learning to spell your name, learning the alphabet, preschool. So, but those are very vague.
I remember going outside. I remember opening the sliding glass door with my mom, and we would walk out into the backyard, and there was this massive fucking tree. Massive. I don't know what kind of tree it was, but these birds would collect in this tree during the day. And so what we'd do is we'd go outside, and she would clap her hands. And she would say, clap your hands. We'd both be clapping our hands, and these birds would just explode out of the trees. And I just remember it being like magical. Like I was young, and it was just like, damn, that's powerful. It was just like these fucking birds. I don't know. I just remember that memory just being like stained in my brain, or like my mom playing piano, or like I don't know, man. Like.
I mean, that first one's significant because you kind of like, as a toddler, you're kind of learning things you do have an outcome on the world around you. You can, whether you scream or you clap or you don't do anything, it all has like a different outcome. So, you learn these things as toddlers. It's really cool to see how babies grow up, man. I don't know. I follow this guy on X. It's like, I don't know. I don't have kids of my own, obviously, but just cool, man. It's cool. See how they, I don't know, how they learn. Just watching videos of babies,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, man.
Kirk, did you find out who it is that worships Saturn?
Dude, yeah, that's actually, it took you a really long time, Kirk.
I was letting you guys continue your conversation.
I'm not going to fire you, Kirk.
As far as Saturn worshippers, the only sort of religion or belief system I could find is in the Roman times. They were the ones that named Saturn. There's also a link between Saturn worshippers and the Judaic faith. And so Saturn and Saturday are linked. So the Sabbath and the Talmud has a astrological connection.
The Talmud. And
there is a
keep going.
Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. I believe that's the 4th commandment. And it allows the Jews, by not occupying themselves with everyday matters, but devoting themselves solely to the fear of God, it protects them from Saturn's baneful influence, and also to improve the quality of their religious belief.
Well, that's
So-
that's pretty damn heavy, Kirk.
I was not expecting to find that.
Dude, I'll tell you, I believe in Mother Nature and Father Time. I think it might be a transsexual universal entity. Call it God, call it whatever you want to call it. But it's like it's the interplay of time and nature. The interplay of nature. You just see this corresponding just how nature plays with itself. The symbiosis of nature. How we're all just linked in this fucking this system, this chain. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, should we? All right,
Somewhere
let's
They said
philosophical.
that Father Time is undefeated. So
Father Time and Mother Nature, and it might be Mother Time and Father Nature, but I don't know. It's probably not. All right, so X is dope, right?
Yeah, X is cool.
X is cool. We're gonna make a band. We were jamming tonight. It's fucking sick.
I like his style. I
Yeah.
like his fashion sense.
He's got wicked style. He's the man. Fucking so stoked to have met that guy. I'm glad that you guys are hitting it off.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice and he's bright.
So I talked to the manager at AMCH, Alternative Medicine on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
And I almost got a sponsor through that dispensary with Little Number Wolfcast, and he was giving me some bud just to mention the shop, and then he just backed out of it. He was just like, well, this isn't really benefiting
You're not
me.
bringing anybody
I'm bringing anybody in, and we do good enough business, and there's no reason to be giving you free bud. And like
Right.
I understand that, right? But I would love. I mean, it's a neighborhood dispensary, and they're cool people there. That's where I get my bud.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to like to rep that shop and maybe get some free bud.
I mean, I think like when in our second episode when we were talking about who we want to sponsor, I said some weed.
That was the first thing that you
Yeah.
fucking said, and so I called him out in front of all of his employees, and it wasn't a call out really. It was just like, hey man, I got a new, and because this was the same guy I discussed the sponsorship with the first time, and he was hooking me up with some pretty good bud. I said, all right, hey man, I have a new podcast. How many subscribers do I need to get sponsored by this shop? 1,000, 10,000, 5,000. Don't tell me not. Just sleep on it. Sleep on it. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we get a big enough following, a big enough listener base, and I mean, shit, it's worldwide. But there's a lot of people from around here, right? I mean, that's a good thing about getting sponsors that are like online sponsors. Anybody around the world can order it or whatever. And sure, like a dispensary, you got to live.
Yeah, but
in
I
the
mean,
area,
dude, if we're
but
bringing
it's-
guys like X in, and our guests are going to be, we're talking about having just local musicians in,
Right,
this
yeah.
is going to be, centrally local themed kind of podcast. And look, I don't think there's any problem with like having a dispensary on there, and it's still worldwide, dude. Because Colorado, Denver, I mean, people come in from around the world to ski or to hike. You ski in the winter, hike in the summer,
and they're gonna know
see
about
Red
it.
Rocks.
Exactly, dude.
So they're gonna want to go to some dispensary,
And they're gonna
hey,
they heard of it. They're gonna go and they get
going to AMCH. Yeah,
they get a fucking discount or whatever, listener promo code, whatever the fuck it is. But I mean, I think that'd be so fucking sick. And so, what do you think what do you think what would you say? Because I mean, what? Maybe he's gonna listen to this episode. Maybe the manager at AMCH is gonna listen to this episode. So what? What do you say? I don't want to put you on the spot. We didn't talk about the list before we started recording, so I don't want to just put you directly on the spot.
well, no, I mean, I've never
did a
shopped at
little bit.
AMCH, but I've worked in that industry for a really long time, and I know my way around a marijuana plant. I'm not much of a retail guy, but I don't know. What would I say to him? Pay me, motherfucker.
Give him a little slap on the ass.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
He's got a great shop. Great people over there. Dude, did you see my money plant? I transplanted it. You're the one who recommended
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
you recommended it. I cleaned it up,
Yeah.
fed it,
Yeah.
transplanted it. I got to take care of my money tree.
Gotta take care of your money
I
tree.
had to spend a little bit of money to just as an investment to take care of my money
You
tree.
don't want your money tree dying.
No, that's fucked.
Yeah.
You can't have your money tree die.
Yeah. You didn't buy that for yourself either, right? That was a gift.
Ex-girlfriend.
Oh, whatever. It was a gift. That's good.
It was a gift.
Bamboos should also always be a gift.
Bamboos?
Yeah.
Really?
Don't buy yourself a bamboo. Get them as a gift or buy them as a gift. Yeah.
Okay.
Bad luck to buy your own bamboo. So don't be bamboozled by the bamboo market.
I see what you did there, and I like it.
Yeah. So what's on your list? I wanted to. I called you guys last night. Had some things to talk about. What do you have on your list, man? My list is recording Kirk on our ghetto little setup here. So, but
Okay.
I remember.
Check this out. I just found this out. Okay, so in London, I'm glad you're back for this. All right, so in London, they go through 23 kilograms of cocaine a day.
Who does?
The city of London.
It's more
The royal family.
The reason that they figured this out, they found out it's according to wastewater samples.
Yeah.
They're getting the information from the diluted piss in the wastewater of how much cocaine is still remaining in the water.
Yeah, or what people flush down the toilet.
Sure.
No, they're not flushing shit. If it's
They're flushing
the royal family.
Well, no,
Talking
we're
about
just
the
talking
royal
about the
family?
city of London, I think. Yeah. I just made a joke. It was the royal family.
Which city of London is it?
England.
Well, it's in
There's
London.
two cities of London.
In London, I mean, I don't have the article right here, but and then second place is Barcelona at 12.7 kilograms a day.
I know. I've heard like
They don't got the right stats.
I've heard London is like they party in London. Women party.
yeah.
Like there's a whole culture.
It's like New York, dude.
Yeah, of like Friday, Saturday. I think New York is like every day. Or like London, from what I understand, is like a weekend party place.
London is every day too, bro.
Is it? Yeah.
Imagine how, dude. That's fucking London.
Yeah, I guess just a giant,
I'd love to
But
go
I think
there.
there's like a lot of money in London too. So
That's that old money too. That's that money that's been around.
So yeah, they're like you probably shouldn't even be talking about it, but it's like there's two cities of London. One of them is like London, England, and the other one is like a very small, like area
it's like a faction.
of a prefecture. I don't know what you would call it, but it's where a lot of the banks exist. You're not even allowed to go.
Oh, like Washington D.C. type, or,
Yes.
or Vatican.
Yes.
And then there's that London. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not part of. It's annexed or.
it's probably a part of the like United Kingdom or British Empire, but I'm
Ungoverned.
pretty sure it has its own laws. Yeah,
Yeah, like
Just
D.C. Yeah, it's not represented. in
like
some-
Disney World, bro.
Yeah, the Vatican has its own
Because-
laws. It's its own
Right, it's not
fucking
Roman.
thing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's Vatican.
Disney World is literally
Well, yeah, they were controlling their own laws, and DeSantis kind of pulled that back on them.
it's Disney World. They might DeSantis might have pulled it back, but at the end of the day, unless we want to go to war with the crown, Disney World is not subject to any American laws at all.
What?
Yeah,
I do remember there's like some agreement. I think
So,
Kirk could probably speak to it.
That's
until
fucking
the-
crazy. Yeah, Kurt, can you look
Yeah,
into
so-
that a little bit?
so
That's
that's
fucking
called-
crazy.
So we're, I don't know if it's Disney World or Disneyland, the one in Florida. It's at Reedy Creek, and that is its own sovereign. It's not a state. It's maybe a district, you would say, and they do have to go through like environmental regulations
Oh, yeah.
and financial regulations. But for the most part, it is its own separate entity, apart from the state of Florida or the U.S. That does not mean it's like a conspiratorial thing, and you don't have to like Disney or hate Disney to oppose their ability to maneuver the laws of Reedy Creek. But yes, it is its own sovereign district.
they don't even have to maneuver with the laws of Reedy Creek.
So
It comes down to fucking money. They're
Environmental-
making a shit ton of money so they can slide. They let the government lets them slide. Why
Well,
else? Why
there's
else?
actually a document that it makes it so Disneyland, is what I guess that's the name of it. They are subject to the crown until the last descendant of whoever the monarchy of freaking Britain or England or whatever is dies. Whoever the last descendant of them dies, Disney World is not subject to American law or Disneyland.
I had no idea. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking nuts. I don't like Disney World. I don't like being there. I've been there before.
Yeah.
My stepsister was a cheerleader, so she went there for nationals. I was lucky enough to go. Disney World filled with cheerleaders is actually pretty fucking rad.
Sounds fire.
But it was, and it was, but
I would even go.
But Disney World is like, it makes you sick.
We're
though.
much older now, gentlemen. So.
It makes you sick, man.
Well,
The hot dog's like
Is there no
$9.
fucking actual national cheerleader championship besides the freaking high school one?
College,
Is there
probably.
a college cheerleader championship?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Is there a professional cheerleader championship? Is there an NFL cheerleader championship?
I fucking hope so.
I don't
That
think
we
so.
could go to. There's got to be, dog. No, you see, I refuse to believe
If there isn't, then we could start one.
Yeah, with a few mil,
Yeah. Well, we
quite a few mil.
Yeah, we do a capital race.
We need some capital.
Yeah.
But,
I think people would support that though.
I think people would definitely support that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
People love cheerleaders.
They do. We all do.
At least half the population.
So, David, are you supporting any OnlyFans girls?
Oh, I don't support any OnlyFans girls, man. No, I don't support any women, actually. Too poor.
Nice.
I mean, I support all women spiritually and emotionally, but financially can't afford to have a hard time supporting myself. If you know what I mean.
That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, women are winning, bro. They're like, so financially, do you know, like they're actually more likely to be employed, more likely to be college graduates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's definitely a pay gap, but like black women in America are the demographic most likely to graduate from college. Isn't that's fucking off the chain, bro?
Wow.
I think it's very cool. I think that the education we're getting from colleges now is more dangerous than good.
Dude, the education system in general has always been bullshit.
Yeah.
It's always been like university is a lot better because you're dealing with a group of people who aren't just nationalists. Like it's get a lot of influence from people who are from other nations, and also like you're sort of like buying into this club where you get a lot of connections.
Yeah.
If you're maneuvering.
Do you have a degree, X?
No, I don't. I just used to go to colleges and like hang out with people and like go to their classes and shit.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of stolen education.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Just learn a thing or two, go to a few classes.
I mean, like,
Fuck
I thought, why not? You know, like, it'd
Dude,
be
we
fun.
used to live near DU. I was like law, and I mean, I never did, but I was always like, yeah, maybe I just go sit in on some law classes and just learn some shit for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
They're not
well, I
going to
never
kick you
thought of
out.
it.
You know?
Because they're looking for people who aren't there. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for people. They're not looking for people who are there and aren't necessarily supposed to be. They're looking for people who are not there and are supposed to be.
I just remember it being really fucking weird living by DU, and we were all outside of the college age, and we were still going to college parties. And
Trying, at least.
these girls are like, you know, what are you studying? And I'm like, I just play music in a house full of dudes.
We did all right. We did all right. That was a great time.
We did all right. Yeah, I mean, shit.
So you guys been homies for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have, man. What, since?
I mean, we've been good homies since, just out of high school, but I mean, we've known each other since Laredo Middle School, you know? So,
Yeah.
When did you grad high school?
we graduated in 2006.
Nice. 2000 dicks, bro.
2000 dicks.
That was a good time, though. 2006 was a good time.
06.
How about you?
When did I graduate high school?
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember, bro. I was doing so much drugs. But I'm
How many years are you in
I'm
Earth
20.
years?
I'm 28.
Okay.
So that should be like a clear.
Put you around 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
something like that.
2014.
28 was a good time. Actually, 28 was when I was kind of at the peak of what I've seen in success at 28. And then it all went down.
Well, actually, no. Actually, in reality, I had to get my freaking GED because all of my teachers, they all came together and they were like. So that's the year my class graduated, like of all my peers, but I was just such a fucking troublemaker. They all knew that I didn't give a fuck about school. Like I will always love my teachers, bro. They were the shit. But they all came to me like as an adult, like, and I was still like in fucking 10th grade, and like my homies had like went on to like go to 11th grade and shit, and my teachers they knew I was like abusing the system just to have fun. Just to fucking hang out and smoke weed and like kick it at the library and shit. And they also understood that no disciplinary actions would ever change my behavior. So they all got together and they were like, "Hey man, like, we understand that you know not to do anything dumb enough to get kicked out of the school, and also that you're intelligent enough to like live your life without this this institution or whatever. You know, I don't know if they phrased it exactly like that. They were like, you're being really fucking disruptive. You know what I'm saying? It was like all of them, and like I consider them to be like my friends because like I don't know, like they just pretty much they tried to stop me from doing whatever I wanted, but they couldn't. So
You're forced not to be trifled with, X.
well, of course not. So I had to go get a freaking GED. I got my GED.
The whole education system is fucked. Like,
Of course.
kindergarten to what, senior year, it's like they're just training you to be a warehouse worker.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
John D. Rockefeller.
Yeah, man.
Yes. I was listening to Chrissy Chaos, and he was talking about this. The entire education system was built by John D. Rockefeller to educate employees, to make people employees, like not to make people think for themselves, not to make people entrepreneurial,
Not to really teach them any valuable shit, just to keep them in line.
to get them through school, to get them to the point where they can go work on a production line for a billionaire,
Yeah.
like John D. Rockefeller, and that's what
I think-
and it hasn't changed yet.
I think they actually do teach us things that are of value. Otherwise, like, you know,
Addition.
the teachers wouldn't believe in it.
Subtraction.
Yeah, definitely some mathematics, some you know, history, you know, science and social
Science,
studies
sure.
and art as well.
What would you rather learn?
But the problem is none of it is geared towards being self-sufficient, whether that be outside of anything having to do with government or even like the freaking structure, the social structure of society. None of it is geared towards being self-sufficient and a free thinker. That's the main problem.
Right.
I'd rather learn about how to do my taxes,
Exactly.
and how to mortgage a house than learn about the fucking whatever. I mean, history is
Home ec
valuable,
has no
but
social. It has no financial literacy quarter for that class. It's no financial literacy class.
it's like, do they want us to be stupid?
Well,
Yeah.
they don't. They want you to be broke and dependent on their
Broke
systems.
as fuck, yeah.
For
and
sure.
inside your house, they want you to be
They want us
inside
to
your
be
house,
institutionalized.
Yeah.
just watching TV,
I mean,
streaming your
to
fate.
the elites were considered a herd, and it's made obvious by their
Definitely chattel.
propaganda
And the food.
Yeah, the food.
Feed
What
us
they're putting in your
animal
food, what they're
food.
putting in your air, what they're putting in your water, and now what most obvious, what they're forcing you to inject into your body.
Straight up.
The only other things that are forced injected are farm animals or herds,
Yeah.
or something that farmers need to control for their profits, to protect their assets.
It's a hot ticket issue.
So are we?
Goddamn right.
So yeah, I mean that's we're considered a herd to the elites, and that's it, man. And it's basically a slave fucking function.
Did
know?
you get vaxxed?
Anyone
X?
familiar with John Dewey?
John Dewing? No.
No.
Yeah. He came from Columbia University in New York. He visited the Soviet Union in 1927 and toured their education system, and a lot of his books were popular in the USSR. He was a educational reformer. When he came back to the U.S., he wrote for the New Republic a series of essays called the Impressions of Soviet Russia, and a lot of what he learned in Russia at the time became foundational precepts for our modern education system.
So it's all a design.
Yes.
Do you think the aliens are involved, Kirk?
What's that?
Do you think the aliens are involved? Do you think the aliens splice with our DNA? Do you think they have their hands on the reins?
What if we are the aliens?
Shots fired.
Well, for sure, the freaking viruses might really be aliens. They don't look like anything on this fucking planet.
Right.
Nothing at all. It could have actually just been engineered by aliens. It could be like machines.
Did you get the vaccine shot?
No, fuck no.
Good for you.
And I never will.
David is an anti-vaxxer.
Well, dude, I didn't used to be, but dude, when you try to force something, I mean, it just became.
Well, I mean, that's why. Like,
obvious.
oh yeah,
Wait a
fuck that.
minute.
I got my tetanus shot, dude. I got my freaking
Polio vaccine, right?
yeah.
Well,
and then,
we didn't get. We don't have polio vaccines.
You did.
yeah,
get
we do.
pol-
We just
We
not
did
me.
early on, or like when you were a kid, you get a
Yeah.
polio
Bro,
vaccine.
dude, my dad's polio vaccine is like it's like quarter size.
I mean, the fucking technology gets better.
yeah, it does. So, however, it becomes. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, obviously, if somebody's trying to fucking force me to do some shit, I'm like, fuck no,
That's
dude.
fucked
Like,
up.
not
I mean,
even
yeah,
for a
sure.
free donut, you wouldn't do it. Huh? Cheeseburger didn't do it for you.
no.
I got a pair of Air Force Ones to
Did
get
you really?
vaccinated. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What?
Jesus.
How?
I was working for this company called Wild. They make edible gummies,
WYLD.
and it's like
Could you have forged the documents and still got the Air Force Ones?
So here's the deal: if you get the vaccine, they give you $100 gift card.
So could you have just pretended to get the vaccine? Like, what was
No,
the
you
evidence?
needed the documentation.
That's what I'm saying.
I could've
There was
forged that
fake
document for you.
documentation the whole
I
time.
suppose I could have, but the thing that sucks is I got those Air Force Ones and they were dope. They're all black Air Force Ones and I fucking loved them.
Should have got it with the all whites.
But they squeaked. They
still have them?
squeaked when I walked.
You still have them?
I might have thrown them in a dumpster.
penguin
Yeah.
sneakers.
So, and also there's a problem with black Air Force Ones is there's a theory that they might actually attract negative energy.
You're right. You're right, and it's like if you have black Air Force Ones, people think that you're a crook or some shit, that you're a thief.
Yep. Yep.
But I like it. I
You
like it.
know about
I like an all black shoe. I wear all black Converse. I like it. I think it's classy. You know what I'm saying? You wear. I like an all black shoe. I'm not trying to be too flashy.
So David, you don't know about the.
No, never heard that conspiracy.
It's real.
So it's not even a conspiracy. It's half a joke.
Anecdotal.
It's half a joke, but it's also it's kind of half real because of the joke is become and also the real life situations has become so interlaced to freaking I don't know, like street society, if you would call
It's
it
like a
that.
white lighter.
It's like a white lighter.
Oh, like it's
Yes,
bad life superstition.
yes.
Superstition.
So dudes who wear black Air Force Ones, whether they be low tops or high tops, are like they're thought to be like these dudes that are like gonna do some like crazy like shit. Like, oh, they might rob you, they might like beat you up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, if you're wearing like Air Force Ones are the cheapest Nike that is widely accepted as a reputable shoe
In the urban,
in the urban sphere, right?
I love the Air Force One.
And
Wait, you mean the Walmart Shacks? Those are no good?
no, they're no good.
What do you Walmart Shacks? Is that the Shaquille O'Neal?
New Balances are just now sort of becoming like acceptable. Like for a while, like Air Force stomp.
New
and
Balance
Air
is in white
Force
boy culture.
One.
Yeah, it was
I
Nelly.
believe-
It was Nelly, right? Or no? What was it?
I can't remember.
It was Nelly, or was it?
Somebody like that in like
Fucking-
2010 area.
I don't know if they were like Nelly. I don't know if they were Nelly, but nobody's really like Nelly. We gotta keep that real.
Yeah, that's
okay?
true. Nelly is Nelly.
Nelly's Nelly, bro.
No
he's definitely niche in his own way.
Nelly. He's the one with he's got the little he's got the little
Find
band-aid
me
under
in
his eye.
St. Louis.
Little band-aid under his eye. What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know if it
I
has.
think he
any
just had
meaning.
some.
I think it's just aesthetic.
like a boo boo.
It's aesthetic. Yeah, it's just kind of a cool
He had a
thing.
boo boo that whole
Yeah, the
time.
boo boo.
But yeah, so that's what that's why weird shit was happening to you with the black Air Force Ones, and if you did throw them away, like it might have been a good idea.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're haunted by their reputation.
I had no idea. I always thought white ones looked better. I also think like, dude, the Air Force One.
They get dirty, man.
That's an ugly shoe, dude. I mean,
you
it's an
kidding
ugly.
me?
Like it's just plain. Like you should be wearing the New Balance. What is it? The New Balance 401. So that's the dad shoe, right?
I don't even
Like,
know what the fuck
chunky-
that
Nike
is.
SBs.
Like
Nike
SBs,
SBs,
all right,
the
yeah.
skateboards, yeah.
All the
Those are cool.
SB shit is pretty dope. They're comfortable and they're cool. I like dunks. I like a nice dunk.
So that's what you met me in. I was wearing the freaking Nike Dunks.
The Dunks are SBs, right? Dunks. That's what SBs came out of, right?
An SB
I
can
don't
be
know.
considered a dunk, but it's not necessarily. Well, a dunk is more like a basketball shoe, though, right? I mean, that's why
I
it's
believe
called a
so,
fucking
yeah.
dunk.
But that's what all these skate
But
shoes turned into.
they have dunks that are skate shoes now.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But they're also, I don't know if they're SBs though.
Like people were
Dude, we gotta
skating
go skate
Puma
sometime,
suedes
dude.
and all
We
that,
do.
and that's a old basketball shoe, you know.
The what?
The Puma suede people were skating on.
Pumas, dude.
Or I used to work for Puma, so dude, this is like you usually see me wearing Pumas. I bought these New Balances because they're dope and they were on sale. But yeah, I usually wear a Puma suede. Any conspiracies about Pumas?
It's just like some hip hop shit. It was just like the Pumas. I think during there was like an era where like Pumas and Adidas guys were kind of beefing a little bit. But
Yeah.
that might
Brothers.
not be true at
No,
all.
no,
they were
I heard
brothers, yeah.
I heard about that. Yeah, they were brothers and they were beefing.
They were?
They broke the company up because it was what?
So Adidas is actually Adidas. Adi Dassler. was his name.
Dazzle was like
Adi
a
Dassler, and then Rudolf Dassler is the founder of Puma. But before those things, they had the Dassler Shoe Fabrik.
But
It's a German
wasn't
company. They got in a
Adi-
fight over a girl.
wasn't Adi
A
Dassler
girl. Of course they fucking did.
Wasn't Adi Dassler an Olympiad too?
No,
He was just wearing them.
no. So what's his name? The first black guy in the Jesse
Owens.
Jesse Owens was
Owens.
wearing Pumas in the Nazi Olympics, and that's kind of I think that might be the story you're thinking of from Puma. Dassler Shoe Fabrik was just like I think they were just like mostly making sneakers or
So
soccer
that's
shoes.
crazy.
German.
And so an American Olympiad was wearing German shoes. A black American Olympiad was wearing German shoes during the Nazi Olympics.
I didn't realize that Puma was German.
Yeah. They're across
German
the
engineering.
Jesse Owens is that Jesse thought that the Germans treated him better than
They probably did.
Americans did back home, and that
Probably did.
FDR had treated him worse than Hitler did.
Of course. Well, because like the whole like oppression and the marginalization of black Americans has a lot to do with not only the prison industrial complex, but just in general the financial state of the country, and you know, like all the black massacres, Tulsa Massacre, like freaking Central Park is built on like the remnants or the freaking graveyard of a black community, the Rise shooting, like so on and so forth. So like Germans, they definitely demonized a lot of people in their country, and they certainly didn't consider black people to be equals. However, the people that they were targeting were not black Americans, and they were not necessarily the black people in their country, even though a lot of black people were definitely put into concentration camps. Black people that were living in Europe, it was like it's just a different cultural perspective from even like some of the most racist Europeans. And so of course
The
Jesse
demographics
Owens,
are different in Europe than in North America.
yeah,
So,
oh yeah,
so that could be a part of it. Germany's Nuremberg codes were actually modeled after Jim Crow laws and what were called black codes in the South to exclude what we call marginalized communities.
oh of course, which includes queer people, mentally challenged people, gay people,
Gypsies. Yeah.
Roma, yeah, anybody who's not a freaking quote unquote
Just say
purebred
it.
German.
Just say it.
What, Nazi? Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna say white boy.
Oh yeah, white boy. But the Jew, this brother, where they what's it called, the
Jews.
Semites, right?
Anti-Semites. Or the Semites. Okay, what are you saying? Sorry.
So it's like I think because they're like not completely, they're not completely like somebody who's a descendant of fucking. They're white people still.
You mean like a Zionist?
I guess. I don't know. I don't have enough information on what that term means, but I know the Jews in Europe. The Jews in Europe.
Zionist, though.
The Jews in Europe looked white. You know what I'm saying? So like, it wasn't just white boys that were being fucking, like, or that were considered like this sort of apex race or the master race as they would have put it. It's actually fucking specifically people who were of German or Austrian blood, and also like any of the other countries that had freaking
Germanic
like genetically they like what is that called? It was like eugenics, right?
Eugenics.
They like actually were trying to breed out all the other like ethnic groups from their bloodline.
That's how it started with the Germans. They were trying to get rid of the fucking.
It already existed before the Germans, but the Germans were the ones who were the most extremist about it. They were the ones who believed that it would make like a freaking utopian society.
Do you guys know that ABBA, every member of ABBA was part of this experiment of not quite eugenics, not like manipulating genes, but
eugenics
like
is also selective breeding as well.
Yeah, like more selective breeding type and
That's
selective
still
schooling
eugenics.
and selective education. The band ABBA, yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk, fact check me. Am I right?
Great man. But yeah, eugenics doesn't. It could. So like domestication is a form of eugenics of like of animals and shit.
Yeah,
so
man.
they've done it with. They tried it with foxes. You can do it with anything that like lives and breeds. You can, except for eels, because we've never seen them fuck. But
You've never seen an eel fuck?
nobody's ever seen an eel fuck.
You'll fuck what?
Eels, they all
You'll fuck anything. I'll
all
tell
the
you
all
what.
the eels.
Eel.
But all the eels, they all meet up like somewhere that like nobody knows where they're doing it, and they all have. Nobody's even seen a eels like. I think more recently we've figured it out. I don't think any eel in captivity has ever had sex.
But they're doing it.
They're doing it. Yeah, there's
definitely
so
doing
many
it.
fucking eels, bro.
Domesticating, the whole domestication thing, I don't like it. I don't like the whole, like, all right, dog, a man's best friend. I had a connection with the dog before. I had a dog for years, but it's like I feel bad because it's like it's locked.
They're
in,
captives.
They're captives. They're fucking slaves.
They institutionalized.
They're locked in my house, and there's a collar on their neck, and there's this mental breakdown where it's like they don't even realize it, and they're there and they're like obsessed with you, and it's like they're slaves and they don't even realize it. It's like they're in this weird limbo reality, and it's like fucking crazy, man.
So
It makes me feel bad.
From that, then we have to look at ourselves like, where are we locked in? Where can we not leave? What freaking metaphorical or proverbial collar is around our necks?
Absolutely.
You know?
And there's some shit. It's like you can't teach a dog physics. You can't teach a dog fucking calculus. And it's not for lack of trying. It's
not on paper.
They can't fucking comprehend it. And it's like, what is that to us? Like what is out there that we can't comprehend, that we just literally can't
fathom
even? You know what I'm saying? But it's real. It's real deal shit. But
it's higher dimensional perspectives. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we try to like make a picture of a tesseract and it's still 3D. You know what I'm saying? Never, like, we can't even, a 4-dimensional being would be able to like fucking turn a clock inside out, or like anything. You know what I'm saying? So to them, time moves like the pages of a book, where they can look back, like, look forward. But to us, it's this linear thing. It's a part of space-time where we have to, like, at least for physical purposes, usually experience it as the pages are being turned, and we can't necessarily turn it back, at least physically. It's physical reality.
I just feel like I get this weird feeling, and maybe it's paranoia, but it's like there is some kind of entity like hurting us, basically.
Yeah, is both. So there are higher dimensional beings, and like who knows how high these dimensions goes. It could be infinite, right? And there are ones that do want to hurt us, that are hurting us, and then there are other ones that don't. And so we have to look at the universe for starters, right? So the fabric of the universe is this cosmic web, right? And it's both infinite, yet also expanding, all right? And so, like, what the fuck is it expanding into? If it's infinite, what is it expanding into? What's outside?
If it's expanding, then it must also be finite. So, you know.
Exactly. The entire concept is like
contradictory a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a duality. So if there's something outside of space-time, then there very well could be beings that exist outside of space-time. Now, what we do know is that every living being on the planet, and even every unliving object, is somehow connected through these electromagnetic fields that we were talking about before.
X, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Yeah.
Have you ever ripped a massive bong rip of DMT and blasted off?
I've semi blasted off, but I've definitely done DMT before.
So you've seen, you know, you've been kind of gone through some levels at least.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're going up, right?
Yeah.
And you're meeting or experiencing.
You mean some entities.
Level.
You can meet some entities.
Yeah.
I didn't fully blast off.
Do you think that's interdimensional?
Yeah, I do. Well, it's because the mind, our consciousness is a multi-dimensional thing. So it's not bound by physical reality and the rules of what we consider physics, because once again, quantum physics it's so fucking absurd that our consciousness, if it exists as a wave, right, or as a field, this thing can experience the multiverse or universe or whatever you want to fucking call it from so many different perspectives that luckily our bodies are here for us to interpret that as we see it, and we can relate that to this realm, like when we return to it or when we're in those different places. So we know, or at least theoretically, that there are other within this web of consciousness and outside of it, there are other beings that exist, and some of them are malevolent and some of them are what's the word?
Benevolent and malevolent.
Yeah.
Malevolent is bad. Benevolent is for the good.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about I kind of believe that this is Satan's realm that we're living in.
Yeah, the earth is supposed to be.
It's full of temptation. It's full of evil. It's full of greed. Yeah. It's full of lust and glutton, and it's up to the righteous to navigate that and to kind of prove yourself in a way. I don't even think we got that deep into it. But
the most powerful entity in the universe will always have dominion over everything, but the devil, or whatever you want to call him, right?
Evil,
it could be anything. Every single society, every single group of people, every single religion has an idea or at least a word for whatever the fuck these things are. We know for a fact that, or at least everything considered, right, that these beings they can literally experience different dimensions, right? We know that they very well might not be from Earth, and so this realm has a lot of demonic influence, and also you gotta once again look back at any ancient text. They came down here to come kick it with us, and they gave us all this information, right? And so, but during that time, or even before that, there was if we look at it biblically, there was supposed to be a third of the angels. Who knows how many of them there were, but a third of the angels, in Hebrew text, they said they were made out of lightning and fire, and they took human form. They come down, and they come for lack of a better term, hang out and fuck human women because they're sexy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And
that's in Roman mythology too, and Greek mythology, and that's how you get demigods and shit.
And God was like, "Nah, bro, don't do that." And they were like, "Well, we want to." And so that's that. They went against the will of God, and then they become demonized, literally
fallen.
And so, but they were the ones, or I don't know if the Watchers are the same as the fallen angels, but they say the devil's greatest tool is a mortar and pestle. So that's
mortar and pestle.
So it's like what you used to grind down herbs and stuff into like a paste, and you like use that to like make distilled so like drugs, alcohol, anything like this was apparently given to us by some otherworldly beings.
Like alchemy.
Alchemy is a great way to put it. Chemistry, anything that we can use to manipulate the objects around us on a deeper level, as opposed to just existing on the planet as a part of the ecosystem and just as another quote unquote, like, even though like humans are supposed to be the highest of them all, like if we were like still existing as we were before we were influenced by these outside entities, we would essentially be animals, you know, before the fruit of knowledge was eaten.
I mean, Jesus, dude.
Are you Christian, X?
No.
Any spiritual belief or atheist? Or
I believe in the God of the Hebrews for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what I like to hear. I'm a Silverstein man.
The old King James God?
No. King James, Emperor Constantine.
Manipulated the
all
Bible.
These, manipulated or not, all these people, they can't have any type, they can't stake any claim to the creation of these religions besides how they manipulated them, which was a good word to use. And also, manipulated or not, like, we have to look at it from the real perspective, is that like all this information and all this technology and culture was clearly taken from Africa, and you know, some of it was stolen, but a lot of it was just given, you know. At least I believe a lot of this shit was just given. So I don't consider even Christianity that was at least from my point of view manipulated to be like the property of Europeans, or even the true ideas of Europeans. They merely use it as a tool to try to, once again, like, so once Rome fell, the power of Caesar sort of changed to the power of the Pope. You know what I'm saying? There were still monarchies. There were still all the different bloodlines of people who were related to Roman nobility vying for power, which forever like happened under that like empire. But the main focus was this religious power, was this spiritual focus on the papacy, and how they would use that. Like, perhaps some people were probably true believers, but for the most part, a lot of it, I think maybe 50-50, was just people trying to get power for their bloodline or their fucking immediate family, and then, you know, maybe fucking other people actually believing it.
I'm trying to see some next level miracles. I'm trying to see some real God shit. As a Jewish man, I feel like you read these stories out of the Old Testament, and it was like, yeah, some fucking Jewish guy climbed a mountain and he was talking to God, and he fucking led his people, and like, it's just like, I'm ready for some next level shit. Whether it's me or you or David or some guy I don't know doing some next level miraculous shit, making the blind see. And some real level shit. I'm not saying miracles don't exist, because there is a lot of beauty in this world, but I'm saying some real deal like whoa, that makes me believe in something way bigger than.
You have to just open your eyes.
Because I have faith, but it's
there are miracles happening every day. You just have to open your eyes for it. Yeah. For instance, synchronicities. Synchronicities are a great example of miracles. When you start to see a bunch of things align with each other, like numerically. Mm-hmm. It's like, because you obviously know what a synchronicity is. It's just like, let's say like, and they're, well, I guess they can be explained. So it seems a little bit less miraculous, but like every year, freaking all these fireflies in Africa or whatever, they all meet at these trees and they all blink in unison. You know, why? You know what I'm saying? Or like literally the human body, or the fact that we haven't been hit by a fucking asteroid again.
I was just thinking about Yellowstone, like
the Yellowstone
48 hours ago, and then I'm just thinking like, let's just move on from this.
Let's just hope that it doesn't explode. Yeah, the super volcano.
And dude, when it does, it's
going to blow the whole side of the earth.
Like, imagine, you know what? It's about 800 miles from us. It's moving at 100 miles an hour. You got 8 hours.
8 hours to get away from the plume.
8 hours to not
To
die.
So what do you got to do? Get in a plane? You got to go on top of a mountain somewhere? What do you?
You're fucked.
You're just fucked. Period.
No, jet, you could get in a private jet.
If you had a private
If you're in a
jet and
G6,
that it was ready to take off, and you got someone to
and
go.
you had somebody to refuel you. You're
Us? Except maybe
You
not
could even
X.
land at the Atlantic.
Start a dude. That would be fucked.
But then, yeah, I mean, you know, it I think like.
I mean, there are miracles. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about like some real deal.
Well, that's what I think. I think that's where you're going wrong. Is you're looking for something profound,
Yeah.
like lightning
Or
striking.
You're looking for
before you get
something
in a car
that
accident.
is
you know, like-
inherently profound and inherently unexplained.
Like it's not possible. I understand. It's like that's what makes it a true miracle. Is it's like you're able to approach something and become and be.
So you're saying like, hey, you use Jesus as curing the blind as an example. Okay, we now have modern medicine that literally cures the blind. Is that not something that's deeply profound and exactly what you're looking for?
is
But
it
it's
is
just not
miraculous.
right.
Or
It's
or
not
even
a it's not a flash in
even
the
beyond
pan.
that, we have like ancient shit. Like say for instance, eating freaking peach and plum seeds actually stops you from fucking getting cancer.
Cannabis. There's sheep sorrel. There's all sorts of herbs that'll stop. I mean, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not going to finish my statement because you could get in a lot of trouble. But
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm saying it right now.
ah.
I'm saying it right now. The pharmaceutical
I'll
industry.
agree,
I'm just kidding.
but yeah, dude, I've known people.
Just kidding, pharmaceutical industry. You guys are all good.
Yeah.
Totally trustworthy.
But yeah, I mean that's a miracle. Cannabis is a miracle. Psilocybin a miracle. Is it a miracle that this spore showed up on Earth? We don't know how.
Yeah.
Is that a miracle? Is it a miracle that I was doing way too much cocaine for 5 years of my life, and every morning I'd go to basically every morning I would go to sleep. Like, man, I hope I fucking wake up. Like was each one of those wake ups a miracle? Maybe I shouldn't have woken up. So I don't think you need to like look too deep or look for something so profound. I think you just need to like really realize
You can do
kind of
both.
what you're
That's-
in.
but
You
I
can do
mean,
both. You can
I hear
look
you.
deeply, but
I hear you.
look deeply into what seems to be commonplace, what seems to be taken for granted, what seems to be obvious, may not be something that is so mundane that it should be overlooked.
Yeah, no, you're right about
You
that.
know?
Some real next level shit could be happening
But,
right underneath our nose for real.
And it's also right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of the times. But also I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
I mean,
I do want to see some telekinesis.
Jesus did some next level profound shit. He was walking on
Yeah.
water. Telekinesis, absolutely. Telepathy, absolutely. Like these things
So
would
take for
change my
instance-
mind and really make me like believe. Somebody could make me believe some next level shit if they showed me some next level
all
shit.
right,
Like
Wim Hof, for instance.
yeah, the Iceman, right?
Yeah, and he also ran through the Sahara Desert with like 3 bottles of water or some shit
That's crazy. Yeah, he climbs Everest in shorts and shit, like
in
barefoot.
shorts. There was actually the Indian Army like walked up on this freaking yogi, and he's just like wearing he's wearing a garb that's literally just wrapping his freaking balls up. Like it's not a loincloth because it's actually a wrap, like, but it's basically underwear, and he's in the fucking snow in the mountains, just chilling out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
His thing is breath, man, breathing, breath,
this guy modern?
breath
This is a
work.
modern
Yeah, he's
living
modern.
man.
There's a video of it.
His thing is like
He's a mind over matter
He breathes.
It's the breath of life.
He gets his breath to a certain point where he's raising the alkalinity of his bloodstream.
Oh, by controlling his breathing pattern.
Yeah, so because we're usually really acidic. So you think about electricity and how it travels. Like electricity travels through alkaline, like so much better. Like it just does. I mean, batteries. That's how fucking batteries work. You know what I'm saying?
And we're a battery.
Yeah, like we
We're
really
a battery. Our
yeah.
brains are like where our consciousness lives, right? Our consciousness is electricity. Our central nervous system is it takes impulses from our brains, but these are impulses that are our consciousness. Where did I put that, Chaser? Oh, you got it. So our So, but yeah, like, so basically, you can pretty much do anything with this body, with breath work, and also physical training too.
Yeah.
You know,
The body is a very, very powerful, miraculous thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is a miracle that we're fucking here in the first place. And surrounded by space, nothing but death and cold and lifelessness, and we're here, like, on this planet. You think it's the hell realm? I think it's the Garden of Eden. We talked about that a little bit before. I think you can create your own reality. I think sometimes you get lucky.
The Garden of Eden is the hell realm. It's exactly what I'm saying. It is it's the force of temptation.
but the serpent was there, but I feel like it's more neutral than that. And like, I understand, like, other people have told me that this is like a trial place where we have to go through trials.
And you have to win, or you put back in here, right?
So like, you could just go to hell, but like, so I was talking to a reverend, but he was pretty alternative. He believed that humans were all fallen angels, and that we're all on trial for the sins that we committed in heaven with a third of the angels. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It's like a holding pattern. We're here. We have to prove ourselves to get back where we're supposed to be.
We're in court.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit Buddhist because it's reincarnation until you reach enlightenment.
Yeah, because
not necessarily. Like, let's say that we're the fallen angels, right? And I mean, like, it's like, basically, like, he still believes, I believe in damnation. I'm pretty sure.
Damnation?
Yeah. So
Who,
like,
Buddha?
No, the person I was talking to.
Oh, okay.
He was a reverend,
Yeah, gotcha.
right?
Okay.
No, I don't think Siddhartha Gautama believes in hell. But I think Buddhists do believe in hell. They believe in demons. They believe in a hell realm for sure.
Absolutely.
You can be bound in hell, but
you get reincarnated in the hell realm. There's multiple realms you can get reincarnated into, but yeah, keep going.
So he believed that we had to take physical form, right? So like, angels, they're all made of like fire and lightning and shit, and they're like, oh, the illest motherfucking thing on the scene. And then I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm misquoting him or not, but like, they had to take physical form, right? This limited form, and they had to live out their lives. So it's like almost as if the story repeated itself, and they're like, okay, put under the same circumstances, would you do the right thing? You know, and it's almost like, if you didn't want to side with Satan, and you're like, no, man, I'm not a bad guy. Check it out. Like, let me argue my case. And then you're like, pretty much like, your memory is wiped, but like, you still have this, everything you knew as a child, pretty much, and just remembering everything that you knew as a child back before when you were born as well. And you got to go through that in order to not be condemned. It's almost like a second chance, you know?
Would you sell your soul to the devil?
Nah, fuck no. Why would I do that?
Not a chance.
Not a chance, because like, what's the difference between I don't know, dozens of years and eternal years? And then also, I mean, another thing is like, you know, when you get that feeling like, damn, I gotta sleep. Okay, oh damn, finally I'm asleep. I gotta eat. Shit, I gotta eat right. I can't eat too much, or I'll feel bad. I was like, I gotta drink water. I was like, shit, I gotta walk. Damn, I gotta exercise. And like, luckily I skateboard, so I'm not even thinking about it like that. It's like, oh shit, I gotta do all this shit. And it just seems like maybe not even no matter what you do is not enough. Maybe it seems like the monotony and the tedium of life can be exhausting, and it exhausts your body until death, especially in this society. Like, let's say you do live a pure life. Maybe you live hundreds of years if you actually had clean air and fucking like real plants and animals. Like, your lifespan could last like an absurd amount of time.
Living that biblical lifespan.
Or like, let's look at Okinawa. Let's look at places where like their life expectancy is like 100 years or some shit like that. Imagine the societies of people that existed before that may or may not have been documented and suppressed. They might not even been documented. They might not have even left any evidence. But imagine how long you could live without any toxins in your food, and actually like even undomesticated food that worked with our bodies. It's like it could be, but so all that until now, right? I could understand how one would want to return to the source, and like, damn, you might even lose your like individuality in a sense, like your all of your parts of consciousness that you consider to be exclusively you, that aren't a part of everything that's ever existed, and you return to this whole that is pure love, you know, not a whole but a whole. You become a part of the whole, you know.
Pure love, I like that. That could be enlightenment.
That's what they that's what they describe as enlightenment. Is like you're like you actually take yourself out of the equation. You take your individuality and your ego out of the equation, and you become a part of all consciousness, and you actually ascend, you know, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And so like, but every single religion talks about returning to this source. And even science it was really funny. It was like, okay, where did the Big Bang come out of? Oh, nothing. It was like, okay, well, nothing is definitively nothing. So it's kind of funny that like you believe in absolute nothing instead of even believing in some. Even Stephen Hawking, he recanted his statement that that God existed, but he was quoted for saying God was it was the easiest explanation of the universe's existence. So if the universe was created out of nothing, right? And when you die, you become like, you just disperse into like some kind of inert state or some shit. So your consciousness is returning to nothingness, which is returning to your creator. So even science, when you fucking think about it, even like hardcore science that discounts the existence of any type of supernatural thing that they can't prove, even though there's a lot of fucking proof out there, even they conceptually, if you look at it for what it truly is, they still believe the same thing, that you become nothing after you die. Nothing created the universe. You're returning to your creator.
It's just like you see a bug hit your windshield when you're driving down the road, and it's instantly dead. And it's like, okay, that bug's dead. Like, it's done. It's gone.
It's not gone.
The energy's still there.
It was always there.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, because
we've been a part of it the whole time.
I like the idea of going back to the source, and I like the idea of an afterlife. Don't get me wrong. You know, and it feels good. The people that I love that have passed away are somewhere safe. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like before we were alive, it was nothing, and it was fine. There was nothing. There was no reality. I mean, we had no consciousness. I mean, that's the thing. It's like if
what can you remember back when you were a kid?
I mean, there's something.
You still had consciousness, but you can't remember none of that shit.
It's like it clicks on. It's like a light switch, man.
But you can't remember any of it.
You can't. Yeah.
So like, let's say like 1 to 3. Most people don't have memories from 1 to 3, but you still had consciousness. In fact, you had consciousness in the womb. So it's not even if we can remember it or not. It's literally like, did it exist in general? That's the question of it. That's the main argument. It's like, did your consciousness, at least even energetically, exist in some form before we gained self-awareness?
Was it placed inside your body?
No,
the consciousness.
This is already there. It was already there. Before your body ever existed, your consciousness existed. Everything already existed.
So you definitely think that we're one organism, human beings?
I think everything is a part of a web of consciousness. I think every being that we consider to be living, and that every being we consider to be unliving, is all a part of a web of existence since the beginning of what we call time. What we know as time.
It's heavy, man.
Take this for example. I agree with you, X. Take this for example. And I hate to say that I've seen videos of this or whatever, but point a gun at a dog that's never seen a gun before. It knows what the fuck you're doing.
Yep.
It's scared. It doesn't know what you're doing, but it
knows.
It knows. Deer, elk. You're in rut right now. You're in hunting season, and I'm driving through these small towns, and you're like, "Oh my god, they're in people's front yards. What are they? Oh, it's so cute." No, they know what they're doing.
Can't fire a gun in city limits.
Because you can't fire a gun in city limits.
Right, dude, that's nuts.
They're connected. Like
Yeah,
it's
they're
all.
a lot smarter than we give them credit for sure.
And that literally could just be like a learned behavior or something that's passed down genetically, like literally just the deers that happened to be walking around in the city when hunting season was up. They just happened to breed because they didn't get killed.
Yeah, and it is rut. So yeah, that's when.
So and that, but at the same time, yes, there's a pool of knowledge, and you can go into it. You can, and that's what these different states of consciousness are all about. It's this pool of knowledge that we're receiving and giving information to. It's like the book The Alchemist, that river, I think, for sure.
I love that book. I need to read it again because from what I took from it, and when I talked to other people, you're probably the third person to mention it. You got something different out of it than I did. But yeah, it's a boy's journey from, he's a sheep herder. I'm talking about the right one, right? He's a sheep herder from Argentina, and he wants to see the pyramid. So he goes on kind of this.
I don't think it was Argentina.
Pilgrimage.
I think it was Spain.
It was Spain, yeah, because he's in Europe, yeah.
It was, he wanted to, what the fuck? He did want to see the pyramids. He wanted to see the world, but it was...
So what I gathered from the whole thing is the only way he was ever going to get to his goal was he had to recognize the omens being shown to him and follow them and trust them.
And also listen to the sound of your heart.
Right, the omens, yes, yeah.
So the omens are a visual indicator. But the sound of your heart is almost like what people call a gut feeling, or like like your body does. Like there's definitely a voice, but there's also a physical thing. Like when you see somebody at a party and you just fucking don't like them, and you think it's for this reason, but it could very well be that reason or any other reason.
It could also be bullshit.
No. Rarely is it bullshit.
Okay, so okay.
I don't think it is. I think like the reason why
you could feel some type of energy coming off of them that does not, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't mesh with you.
It doesn't mesh with you, and you're one of the first people to say that I've talked to this about. It's not good for you at the time. Like it's
even at the time. Yeah. Maybe later, maybe before.
Yep.
Right now, no, it's not working.
It's back to these electromagnetic fields. Every organ system. Or every organ in your body has its own electromagnetic field. I gotta pee.
Well, we have been going for an hour and 35 minutes, which
cool.
is...
I was wondering what the time was at.
That
I
is...
say we keep going. I want to laugh a little, so let's let him use the bathroom, and then let's talk about some lighter-hearted shit.
Yeah, because we
see what makes X laugh.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Here's some music.
I do have a fact check on your ABBA claim, David.
Yeah, go for it, Kirk.
Fact checked on the ABBA claim. I love it, Kirk.
Alright, so only one member of the group ABBA was born of this German, Norwegian forced birth scheme, and that was Annie Fried Lindstad. She was essentially the lead singer of ABBA.
Okay.
And she was born in 1945 to a Norwegian mother and a German father.
Insert ABBA here.
X, only one person from ABBA's Hitler Youth, the lead singer. That's the fact check.
Oh, see, that's what you didn't say right out.
X gonna give it to you.
X gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you.
That's
X.
real original. Super original, alright? No, it's not Scooby-Doo, it's DMX.
I thought it was Exhibit.
DMX. I think it might be Exhibit. I don't know a lot about Exhibit, to be honest.
Is that song DMX or Exhibit?
Huh?
Is that song DMX or Exhibit?
X Gonna Give It To You is fucking...
DMX.
It's DMX? All right.
Yeah, that's DMX.
He's also the one that barks.
He's a barker.
That's also DMX. I remember Exhibit from Pimp My Ride. Can't say I remember the music.
He always had the tightest cornrows, I remember. That was Exhibit for you.
All right.
Dark Man X. That's his name.
All right, X.
You wanna get funny?
We've been going for an hour and 35. It's been spiritual. It's been fucking
know.
cool.
Yeah, we can get whimsical.
But we like to laugh around here, man. So
Yeah.
what makes you laugh, dude?
Makes me laugh.
Fucked up shit makes me laugh, so I'll give you a fair warning.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not some straight fuck shit. As long as it's funny, real talk. As long as it's funny.
So here's what I okay, my main story from the week is Elon Musk is on stage and people are pulling advertising from X, dude. Disney's pulling advertising, Chase,
Yeah.
Capital One, Amex,
I did
Visa.
not expect him
And
to
he
change the
said-
name Twitter to X.
Oh,
Yeah, how do you
yeah.
feel about that? Because you go by X and he changed Twitter to X. I mean, there's like some...
It's kind of hilarious. Like, can't do nothing about it. So, like, I just gotta accept it and laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
about it. But
Yeah.
back to Elon Musk.
So he's on stage, man, and they're like, well, you know, what do you think about Disney pulling? I forget what the exact question was, and he's like, he scoffs. He's like,
Go fuck
"You gonna
yourself.
bribe me with advertising? You're gonna bribe me with money? Go fuck yourself." And he's like, "Do I need to be more clear?" And he goes, "Go fuck yourself." And he giggles. And he's like, "I hope you're out there, Bob." And that's Bob Iger, Disney CEO he's talking to. He was in the stage and has an interview like later on in this.
Mind you, Disney is Nazis.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
They're
I mean,
supporting Israel now, but they are fucking
Mind
Nazis.
you, anybody who's against Elon Musk, I think, is a fucking, like, the guy spent $44 billion, bro. Like, a fortune you wouldn't see in 10 lifetimes.
Yeah, I don't personally like Elon Musk, but
To not, you like free speech.
the fact that they're trying to fucking grind his balls into the ground lets me know that he's at least doing something.
Yeah,
right.
he's over
Something
the target.
right.
He's over the target.
I'm weary of Elon Musk, man. I don't hate the guy, but I feel like he's a super villain, kind of.
Well, that's how Kirk feels,
He's
too,
definitely
with the
not Nikola
Neuralink.
Tesla.
He's fucking...
He's not Nikola Tesla, no.
He's
more Thomas. Well, I don't know, because Thomas Edison was a thief.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know if
Did
Elon
fucking
Musk is a
Elon
thief.
Musk didn't invent the Neuralink, dude?
Well, no, BlackRock's already got it in testing. He also didn't invent the electric car. He also didn't invent the satellite. He
So
didn't
he's
invent
more
internet.
Thomas Edison, and I wouldn't even call him a thief.
He's an innovator of sorts, I guess.
The thing I respect about him is his career and the fact that he has done something that not a lot of people get to do, which is, I mean, like, in sort of a sense, at least on a financial level, be free. And so, like, best case scenario, if he does get completely blacklisted from everything, he'll still be free from society.
Is everything.
No, I don't think he's everything. He might be your everything. And
No,
He
I'll
is.
try to-
David
contact
has
him.
a boner for Elon Musk.
I
David-
definitely don't have a bone. Look, I have a boner for people.
You got a
who-
medium bone dog. You got to just.
I got a soft chub.
semi-hard on.
I got a soft chub, bro. So, you know, when you're only packing 4, soft chub's pretty big. You know
Packing
what I mean?
4 only, huh?
Hey, man.
Good God.
It's the German heritage.
Sure.
We're not superior in every fashion.
Saxophone. you guys invented the saxophone. That's a claim to fame.
So what I like about him, man, is he's just unapologetically, and he has been for free speech. Now, I think that Linda Yaccarino is suppressing people. I don't think it's completely free speech.
No.
But I do think that, like, and this is the second time he said it. There was another interview where he was like, "I don't care about your fucking money." And, like, why does that surprise people? This guy's worth $250 billion and probably more than that. Why would he care about your fucking money?
The thing that I like about Elon Musk is he just seems like some guy.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him. You know, I really don't like Elon Musk that much, but one of his redeeming qualities for me is he just seems like one guy. It's like, yeah, his parents got money from apartheid and they benefited from it or whatever. At the same time, like, if you look at his fucking backstory, which a lot of it was obviously censored and manipulated because it's the internet. Like, you can literally control people's perception of you by what's posted on the internet about you, and he definitely has. But at the same time, he really just, like, dude, like, He fucking dated Grimes. Fucking had a kid with this chick. And then she was like, "Ha, fuck you," and divorced him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just some dude. At least in that realm of fucking money, like he really just seems like a college frat boy who's just like had a fucking plan. He had an idea. His parents had fucking hella money and connections and knowledge, and he used that knowledge for his best. I mean, to his best abilities to like be this figure that everybody looks at is like, oh, he's got billions of dollars. No, he's just the guy that we know.
But you get the feeling like do you get the feeling like he's a genius? He has that genius in him. You think he's just a regular guy?
I mean, like, no, because I want to think I'm at least a little bit smarter than a regular guy. Right?
What is Elon Musk's IQ? Do you know, Kirk?
That'd be interesting to find out.
Off the top of my head, I do not know. I'm researching that right now.
Because he's also got his brother. So Kendall Musk is in, like, he's a Denver. Well, he's actually in Boulder.
Can you imagine being Elon Musk's brother? Like, God,
he's pretty
living
cool.
in his shadow. Is he cool?
Kendall Musk is pretty fucking cool, man. He owns the kitchen, and the kitchen next door. He's a restaurateur in Denver.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I don't even consider it. But you just got like the illest fallback plan of all time.
Yeah, just living in your brother's house.
No, not in his house, bro. Like your brother, you'd be like,
He doesn't
hey,
have a house.
you'd be like, hey, I want to make an observatory in the Amazon rainforest, and I want it to have lasers all around it. So if anybody tries to come and fuck with me, they will get hit by lasers.
Yeah. Sharks with laser beams.
And if your brother was down, if you could convince him to do it, he'd be like, yeah, come on, let's do it. Whatever. That's ill. Like, because probably people don't necessarily liken him to Musk as much because they probably don't even like Musk that much. You know, is that his little brother or his older brother?
Kendall, I want to say, I really don't know. I couldn't say. But he wears a cowboy hat, a little taller than, better looking than Elon, taller. You know, Elon's kind of like nerdy. Kendall's like, you have to look him up. You got your computer. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he's a Denver guy. Yeah.
So Elon Musk, I cannot find a verified source for his IQ.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to
you can
put a
sweep
number on that.
you can
I'm
you can
looking up Kimball Musk and his brother right now. So
you can sweep the internet for information of yourself.
Elon is older than Kimball.
Okay. It's Kimball or Kindle? B
Kindle.
or D?
It's Kindle.
Kimball.
Oh, it's Kimball?
Kimball.
As in Bearwall.
Kimball. Yeah.
So
Kimball.
the Neuralink, it's a computer chip they put inside your brain. You can interact with the internet.
No, you interact with machines.
You interact with the internet.
Well, the purpose of Neuralink is to connect human with machine. So it's not to connect the internet to the human mind or the human mind to the internet. It's to connect the human mind to a machine. So, you know, if you move your hand like this, there's a robotic arm on the other side that will move its hand. So you could get outside of dangerous work.
So,
But you could search the internet with your mind.
I mean, that's basically probably what it would get
That's
down
the
to.
2.0 version. That's the 2.0 version.
So yeah, if you can use your brain to operate a robot hand, you can use your
Then you're
brain to
connected.
operate a cursor.
Why not?
You can even use your brain to probably
Yeah.
search.
It's the same
shit
thing
on
is
Google.
if the voting booths are connected to the internet to send the votes, then the voting booths are connected to the internet to change the votes.
How much money do you have
Goes
to get?
both ways.
How much money do you have to get paid to get the beta version of Neuralink put into your brain? The first version.
They'll pay you.
Elon, yeah, that's what I'm saying. How much would Elon have to pay you
Me? He's not going to put it in me.
to put the Neuralink into your
I
brain?
don't want to do that at all.
There's no amount of money.
No, there's no amount.
Not for me either.
Imagine having a headband on, or some like imagine having an article of clothing on your body that you really don't like at the moment, and you can't take it off ever.
Yeah, that's tough.
You're talking to
Fuck
two
that.
guys that they couldn't get a vaccine by, and you think we're going to put a fucking brain?
You're talking to the guy who got a
brain chip
vaccine.
in?
You're talking to the
They
guy.
might have been able to administer the vaccine in another way, but I never actively chose to take it.
I wouldn't have. I felt healthy. I was fine.
Yeah, I mean, you had your job held over your head. It was called coercion. And
You should have forged it.
Convention, but
Should have forged it, dude.
Should have forged it. It's too late now.
It's
too
about to
late.
be. Shit's about to be digital, so it's not just about to be paper anymore. Because before it was like, you could literally. You could literally just use a piece of paper and like.
Yeah, they want it in your retina and your fingerprint now. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, like, well, I'll scan your retina and that'll tell me your vaccine status. Or
what?
Take your saliva. Or like they're gonna
How
put it
the
in
fuck
with
are they
DNA.
scanning your retina for your vaccine status?
Because that's your self-identifier. That's your ID. That's
well,
all
okay.
the
I
cameras
thought it changed your retinal tissue.
No,
I didn't believe it
it's
was
just
possible.
like that's like your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Your digital fingerprint is going to be your retina.
Oh,
and that's
indeed.
going to be linked to all of your
yeah.
medical records, all of your vaccine records, your
social status,
credit score.
Yeah,
Yep,
social credit score, man. That's a crazy thought. It's like
It's
if you don't fall in line, they're not going to let you travel out of the country. They're not going to let you
Well, this is
purchase
happening.
purchase
This is
items.
happening in China.
It's happening. This shit's real.
It's literally called the Mark of the Beast.
Yes.
The mark of the beast.
That's why I would not put Neuralink inside me. That's why I would not allow that vaccine inside of me. Now I'll tell you, and Aaron and I have
I'm
talked
not
about
gonna have
this.
a fucking subdermal chip either.
No, I'm not gonna. You're not gonna put anything inside of me that I can control. Now I don't know what they're putting in my water, what they're putting in pineapple cocktail, what they're spraying behind
some
airplanes, what they're putting in the frozen pizza that I eat. But you got to live, and the best I can. I'm gonna try to avoid the mark of the beast. And it's funny that X calls it the mark of the beast after claiming to not be Christian. But there's definitely
it's written
some,
in the book what it is, and it tells you what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
been
like
prophesized. Yeah.
the prophecy, and it's unfolding as we speak.
Yeah.
Revelations is a crazy ass fucking section of the Bible, man.
Yeah, I read the entire Bible besides the book of the Chronicles of Kings. I read the book of Kings, and then I read the book of Chronicles of Kings. I was like, oh my god, it's just a lineage book.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking.
This isn't funny. Is there something that'll make us laugh?
Yeah, I read Revelations. Oh, all right. I think I have a joke. What do the landlords say to the? I think you guys probably know this joke. But what do the landlords say to the single mother of 3 who was late on her rent and asking for an extension for the next 2.5 months, because she was pregnant and a lot of companies wouldn't hire her until they knew exactly what was going to happen with the pregnancy.
What did the landlord say to her?
Yeah, what did he say to her when she was asking for an extension? No. That's an old one. That's a really old joke. Yeah, I think a lot of people have heard that.
Nice.
I'm glad the punchline was that because I couldn't take any more.
No, yeah.
That was a long setup. Yeah, it had to be a short punchline. He said no. Yeah.
Just no.
I was going to say fuck you or something like that.
I was gonna say
but no is even more clear.
Trying to fuck.
Yeah,
you wanna fuck, yeah.
Fuck you would be a little. It'd be a little bit too much.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Did you hear me, Bob?
Bobby.
Dude, we got anything funny? I think Mike Johnston's car getting stolen was funny. Like that joke writes itself.
Whose car got stolen?
The new Denver mayor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, got stolen, and
Nice.
then they had it back in 24 hours. You ever heard of anybody getting their car stolen and DPD tracks the GPS? They got it back in 24 hours. I never heard of that.
Every car after 1995
Yeah,
has
has
a
a
GPS in that motherfucker. It's a tracking device, baby.
So they got the mayor's back.
All right, that's good.
I didn't hear what kind of car it was, though. I'm curious about that.
The Zito?
Kirk?
Looking it up right now.
I don't think
Nice.
they're going to tell you what kind of car it is, but
I want to know.
that's
No,
kind
they're gonna tell you.
of the outrage
They're
now.
gonna
It's
tell you.
like, does DPD work that hard for anybody else?
It's not even hard work.
No, but they got to go out and do it.
No, they don't got to go out and do it. It's just that the crime, the whole whatever organizations that are doing this crazy shit, they're in coordinates with the fucking cops in general.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's all, the degradation of society is inactive.
Well, the thing about the mob, right? The mob always had a good relationship, or at least a decent relationship with the cops. So you can't commit crime in an organized fashion on a large scale without having some type of relationship with law enforcement.
Speaking of the mob, where I went today, Weston, Colorado, we're talking to the guy I'm dropping the hot tub off to. He's like, that house was Al Capone's in the 20s. We're in Weston, Colorado. And he points right to it. He's like, yeah, you had some buddies out here. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, there's probably rum runners out in the mountains. We're like 10 miles north of the New Mexico-Colorado border, like west of Trinidad. And he's like, and there was just no law out here. He liked to be out here. And I was like, man, that's fucking crazy, man. Because, like, yeah, that guy was there, man. They said he was like remodeling the house. They took the, not the drywall, because back in the day it was...
mortar,
some shit. Yeah, and they took it out. They found ice.
It wasn't
pick,
mortar. It was plaster.
Plaster, yeah. So they take the plaster out, and in between the kitchen and the living room is an ice pick covered in a rag. So it's like, where's
Murder
that body?
weapon? Jeez.
Well, yeah. Who knows? I don't know why else it would be there. And it's like down in that area. It's like, dude, Colorado mountains. Like, don't fuck with people. Because you just get thrown down a mine shaft, and you're never found. You're never found. It's a cold case forever. So yeah, I mean, probably knew some things about that. But
we got dark again.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a comedy podcast, but comedy can get dark. Is this a tragedy that we're living in, or a comedy?
It's a tragic comedy.
Well, I mean, tragedies are comedies, right? Comedies
from
are
a certain distance.
I guess it's the other way. Comedies are typically tragedies. Like, look at an Adam Sandler movie. They don't work without the tragedy happening, and then the ending is always reconciling and making everything right. But it all leads up to that tragedy. All of the funny things lead up to... the
tragedy leads up to the resolution of the sort of comedic movie. But
yeah, I mean, a storyline has to follow. There's no real storyline for a comedy, right? Like, the storyline for a comedy always follows a tragedy.
Yep. It's like a tragic. It's like a. I can't remember. I'm like not being in my mic enough. You probably have to freaking. I don't know. The editing's gonna go in and out on this. So
we got the best producer in the world. So.
Hey, noise. But yeah, like, I don't know if it was. What is it called? Like, I know, like, tragic comedy is like a term that I have in my mind for some reason, but it's like comedy from a certain perspective, or tragedy from a certain perspective, is comedy, and in like a certain interpretation is comedy.
Some of the best comics can bring light to a tragic situation. And
what's that Bill Murray Bill Murray movie everybody liked? Lost in Translation.
Like, is that
kind of, yeah.
I can't remember it.
I think that's kind of. I think Bill Murray's comedy is kind of like tragedies, like but looked at on a different angle as as something you could find the comedy in it if you look. I think like
you imagine the perspective of Bill Murray, living in this fucking old form of Hollywood and seeing all the fucked up shit that he did, and it just like the funny part of it, he just seems like he's just fucking done with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably because he's like witnessed the atrocities of
fame,
or just the fucking underground of powerful people, and he's like,
he just seems like a cool fucking guy that I would like to hang out with, man.
And that's like, why.
I mean, I don't know what it is about Bill Murray, but it's like his head. It's like he's kind of a goofball, but it's like his head's on straight, and you want to follow him like you would follow that guy into the fire, dude. It's Bill Murray, dude.
I follow no man.
I follow no man into the fire. Oh, dude, can we talk?
No man anywhere.
So he's actually a ninja. X is a ninja.
Black belt.
I don't think ninjas have belts, and and I'm not a ninja because I've never studied ninjutsu to that level. So,
all right, I hate to tell.
More of a ninja, if you would.
A ninja?
Yeah, it's a speed racer.
Look, if I put 3 cinder blocks here, could you smash through them with your palm?
I could smash through each one at a time.
You can smash through a cinder block with your bare hand?
With my foot and my hand.
That's heavy. Like a front kick, or like with your heel, or dude, your heel is powerful.
It'd probably be a heel kick.
Dude, your heel is powerful, man. I dented up my car with my heel kick.
My brothers and I, we used to like go like do industrial. We were doing like urban exploring. I feel like before it was like popular, but I think every urban explorer was doing that same thing. And we would go to like construction sites, and we would just like just destroy like cinder blocks sometimes for some reason, because we figured out that like we could use a crescent axe kick like because it has enough built up momentum to like break through a cinder block.
So what training do you have in your
Martial arts?
Yeah.
I have like a little bit of karate from the YMCA. Also Tai Chi, which is like a lot of people don't even consider to be a martial art. My teacher was teaching us some ill shit. I mean, like imagine like 4 teenagers all running at a dude who appears to be a normal guy, and like he doesn't even like punch us. It's just like you run to him and you're ready with your attack. So you're ready for him with your attack, and you get to like right when you're supposed to do it, and he like flips you over, and you don't even hit the ground. You just end up running past him. You know what I'm saying?
That's sick.
That and a little bit of taekwondo and a little bit of tai chi, a little bit of aikido, a little bit of muay thai, a little bit of boxing, and a little bit of street fighting, of course. All like
See your biceps, you're ripped. So.
I'm cut. I was once ripped, but I like broke my jaw in a car surfing accident. And I was on a liquid diet for a few months, and I've never, yeah, exactly, and I've never rebuilt my muscle up after that.
I wanted to be a boxer for a while, but you get punched in the face a couple times, and you realize like I don't want to do this.
Well, you can just do you don't have to spar with people. You can just do boxing training.
It's great. It's great training for cardio
you can choose,
and shit. Yeah.
So like if you go to a boxing gym, which I definitely would recommend if you want to do boxing. You don't have to spar, but they will make you do that training because you're in the gym, and you will notice an immediate, after like a month, a difference in not only how you feel physically, how you feel in terms of your security, and how you feel mentally as well. And like immediately, saying within 30 days of doing this training and going home and doing the homework, which isn't that hard because they know how to build somebody up. You do boxing.
Yeah,
do boxing.
I want to do boxing. I want to like actually do it. I did jiu-jitsu for a little while with gi, and it was pretty cool. I mean, but
shit's ill.
Yeah, because I like the idea of not having to strike somebody, just being able to like stop the situation in its tracks and just be like, yo, like stop doing what you're doing, or I'm gonna break your arm. Like you got to settle down. Like I'm not trying to hurt you, and like you shouldn't hurt anybody, and just chill out. And like that's really cool, I think. But I don't know. That's a long road, man. But I'd like to learn jiu-jitsu, to get better at jiu-jitsu and boxing for sure, man.
Definitely go to a boxing gym.
Yeah,
that shit's tight.
Cause that's old school, man.
I would spar too, because you put on some big gloves. It's like, I mean,
the gloves are actually more dangerous than just
bare fists. Yeah.
The first death in boxing wasn't recorded until they started using gloves.
Really?
That's insane. I had no idea.
I guess you're just adding weight to the end of your fulcrum. So,
yeah, it's merely to protect the boxer's hands. Before that, they used to use these like
they just taped up.
They used to use the tape, and they used to use the padding around the tape because boxing tape makes your hand a lethal weapon. So they put the padding around it not only to protect your hand, but also to protect the other boxer. Then they started to like add ounces to the tape, and that's when the first death was recorded.
I think if you're going to get into whether it's MMA or boxing or martial arts, and you're going to go compete, I mean, you're running the risk of getting hit in the wrong place, and you fucking break your back. You get hit in the temple, you fall over, you die. I mean, you're running that risk, right?
Well,
the same as a football player.
Sparring's a little bit different,
It should be a little.
Practice is a little bit different.
Yeah,
you're going like 60%, maybe 60-70%. So full out. I mean,
the main thing that's the same across the board when it comes to all of these different disciplines is that when you're sparring in your gym, you're sparring with your friends that you've been training with. When you're doing practice in football, you're practicing with your team, so on and so forth. So yeah, you can do all of these extreme sports that aren't like, if you're not competing against like the environment, like fucking mountain biking and snowboarding and shit. If you're competing against other physical people, you know what I'm saying? If you're not competing physically against people that you're not running as much risk because they're your fucking homies. You know what I'm saying? They don't,
especially in a team.
They don't have as
if
much
you hurt
behind
your
it.
teammate, then you're hurting your team.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
You're not trying to hurt your homie. You're not trying to go full
in
speed.
football in practice, they put the quarterback in a red sweater, so it's obvious you don't touch this guy in practice.
Straight
But
up.
no, you can fuck them up. But it's like you're still going to like you're actually exceeding the level that you would be during a practice because it's not as there's not as much what would you call it pressure. However, it's like you're damn, I lost my train of thought. But even though you're exceeding that level, I'll just like fucking backtrack. You're just not going as hard because it's literally your homie.
It's not competition.
It's not competition. You're actually still competing, but you're not. Also, actually, here's a good way to put it. There's no emotions that are motherfucking like fucking malicious against the person that you're competing against.
And usually there's less on the line. I mean, unless you're trying to get the number one spot or whatever. I mean, in practice, it's not like, there's less on the line.
Yeah, that's why fights break out like during preseason. You hear because like they've got to prove I'm the toughest guy out here. I'll fuck that guy up even if I have to, right? So,
Dude, like back to martial arts, like dude, you don't know who's trained anymore these days.
well, you look for cauliflower ears.
Yeah,
Don't
you
fuck
don't.
with motherfuckers with
That's
cauliflower
extreme
ears.
training, though.
Yeah, that's you don't fuck with those guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't fuck with anybody. Period. But
Dudes with arms like X, I wouldn't fuck with them. And like, dude, so I'm not interested in fighting. I'm not interested in
really
learning
not
how to
either.
box. Like, what's protected me is just being 5'11", 220 pounds.
Yeah.
People don't fuck with you, you know? And I could say, in a lot of like comedy, making people laugh or just diffusing a situation
Diffusing
with
a
words,
situation is very important.
you know, and even a lot of times the situations that I get in are inflamed by something I say, just like
Yes.
fucking off the cuff, trying to be funny, trying to be fucking edgy. And I don't think fisticuffs is really the way to fucking fix something like that. It's
Usually
just like,
not.
Hey, whoa, man! I'm making a joke. Let me make another
The
one.
only time
Come
I've
on,
gotten
you
to
know?
a fight is when somebody has hit me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Besides that,
But then you're starting
Same,
that
dude,
fight.
that's same-
but
same
then you're
with me,
starting
man.
that fight from behind, and like that's what I fear because I've also been told like, if you're in that fight and you think they're going to hit you, then you need to strike first.
Yes.
and that's very important because now you have the upper hand.
that's some Cobra
but the
action.
only times I've actually started a fight from behind is when I actually wanted to hit the motherfucker because it came to a point where they were like basically not giving me a choice. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And even then, like actually, I still don't feel like it would have resolved itself considering the situation. Like I was just like, all right, let's fucking get this over with. You know, if I was gonna fucking win, like if I wasn't, I'd be like, all right, let me just fucking get out of here or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, you can only get punched in the face so many times if you're like, man, I don't want this to happen again. Fuck this. And you can't win. There's no winning in a fight, I don't think. I mean, even if you beat the hell out of the guy, it's like you risk a lawsuit or you feel bad for hurting somebody or if you lose, then
you risk a death and a manslaughter.
Yeah, straight up.
You
man.
also risk your own death.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
And it's a
with it.
50-50. I remember talking to one of my buddies back in the day, and he would always get into scraps, but his thing was like, it doesn't matter how big the fucking guy is, what he knows, it's a 50-50 shot. If somebody connects, like it's a 50-50 chance. I mean, sure, if they're trained in fucking kung fu or some shit, watch your ass. But like 50-50 chance, like it's dangerous to get into a fight. You would even if you're a good fighter, you could get your ass laid out.
You can
Like,
get your shit. You
One
can
hit,
get your shit
one
all the way
hit.
fucked up.
yeah. And I'm not trying to do that. I've been good about getting out of fights. And
I would
talking
say
my way around it.
statistically it's 50-50, but if you actually train yourself, you become one of the upper percentile, like one of the 10 percentile of people who can scrap. It's just like
You're right.
anything you do for let's say an hour a day for 1 year, you're gonna be in the fucking 10th percentile of people who are skilled at that thing if you are training the way that you're supposed to be training.
Yeah, and you're training every single day. You're throwing your hands every single day. Boom, left, right, cross, left, right. And then when somebody actually comes at you, somebody who's just fucking around, who doesn't know shit, you're already left, right, cross, and you're already ready. You're in the zone already. And
guarded.
it's like, it's muscle memory at that point.
There's something to be said for like training in jiu-jitsu, where like the training is you're starting on defense and then turning your defense into offense, right? So you're trying to understand what they're going to do, how you're going to counter that, and then exactly right after you counter that, how you're going to go on offense. And it's really not. It's really not
is still
fight.
defense.
Yeah, the offense is still defense, and it's really not fight. In jiu-jitsu, it's to pin them, to just stop it at that point, right?
Yeah,
it's
neutralize.
To neutralize. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So, how do you do that? How do you stop it? Like, that's jiu-jitsu, where like Krav Maga is like, how do you at any cost, anything you can grab to just protect yourself and fight? It's all offense.
Krav Maga's heavy offense, dude. Krav Maga's cool. That's some Israeli military.
Yeah, that's what they're. That's Israeli shit, right?
Dude, Krav Maga, they go hard. They go hard.
Muay Thai is off the fucking chain.
In Aikido, you got the stick.
Aikido, so like they call it a bow staff in Chinese martial arts. They call it a jo in Aikido, but even without the jo, in fact, without the jo staff, a master of Aikido is more deadly. I mean, like, actually, I wouldn't say that, because fuck that. Like, yeah, if you have a stick, you're gonna fuck people up more. Yeah. But the fucking joint manipulation shit that I've learned and seen people do in Aikido and Hapkido, which is like the Korean counterpart of it, it's like, dude, like, I've actually been able to use it on people that have like attacked me. And like, you grab somebody's hand or their arm or their fucking any fucking part of their body in a certain way, and it locks the joints up. And then at that point, you're like, you just look at them, you're like, okay, like, you feel this motherfucker. Like, you can't move your arm. Like, I could break your arm beyond repair. Like, what are you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? This is off the chain.
Say you love crepes.
Say you love crepes.
Oh, you mean the little thin pancakes?
That's a decent compromise.
My favorite martial arts scene from any movie is Dumb and Dumber, when he's in his dream and he's in the restaurant, and he's like doing all the shit, and then he like fucking punches into the guy's chest, and he grabs his heart that's still beating, and he like gets a doggy bag. He just like flips open the doggy bag, he like looks at him, just puts it in, wraps it up, and the guy just like falls.
He hands him the doggy bag. Yeah. He hands him his own heart, and then he fucking passes out and dies.
Yeah.
God, that movie's good, man. I love Jim Carrey.
Is that Dumb and Dumber 1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first Dumb and Dumber. Mm-hmm. Dude, Jim Carrey put a check for $1 million in his wallet, carried it around, and he just knew. He just told himself every day that he was going to cash that check, and eventually he did. He did The Mask, and he cashed $1 million check, and like, it was just manifestation. Manifestation is real. It's something I'm trying to lock into right now. Manifesting shit.
Don't need to lock into it. Just manifest it.
I mean, just believing. I mean, it's
so one of the principles of manifestation. For one, you have to choose specifically, very specifically, what the fuck you want. Not only are you gonna go for the highest thing, the highest version of yourself that you can imagine and of your life, you also are going to have to be very specific about what you want. And another way, or another thing that you must be aware of, is that you have to have gratitude. You have to have gratitude to whatever you understand as the universe in order for you to exist in that dimension in your mind. And once you do, your actions are going to change, and your reality is going to change. The people around you are going to change, and there will be a lot of friction, mayhaps. Maybe there won't, but there's going to be a lot of fuck shit, or there could be. But through all of that, you have to keep that image of who you are, not who you will be, who you are. And all of these things that you're seeing will become real in the physical reality.
The mind is a powerful thing, man. And that's some of that next level shit that I was telling you about earlier that I'm trying to tap into. I think we can tap into some next level shit like that. We really truly can, man.
You can do anything.
And manifestation is real. And like the more down you are, the more down on yourself you are, and the shittier you are to people, and like shittier stuff comes your way. And it's not fucking rocket science, and it sounds kind of cliche, but it's real. It's fucking real, man. If you could just keep your head on right and just keep your cool, like good shit will happen, man. And like, I don't know, I just fucking you can't. It's hard to teach somebody. It's
lead a horse to water.
Exactly. You took the word right out of my fucking mouth, dude. You took the word right out of my mouth.
You just happen to have good parents, and they told you this shit. Then you're lucky. Or if you like watch the Saturday morning cartoons back in the day, they would tell you this same shit, and it seems like dude, you're taking a break from the action of G.I. Joe, and I'm trying to figure out what's about to happen to Cobra Commander because like he's got my boy all hemmed up, like type shit. But all of these things, they just seem like people just telling you them because they want you to be good. They want you to do this shit. You're like, what the fuck? Oh, be myself. Oh, cool. Whatever. Like, motherfucking do the right thing. Oh, do unto others. You're like, that doesn't sound like the way to get ahead. And really, like, you're only getting ahead. Like, getting ahead really only means getting ahead of the fucking terrible and fucked up shit that could be. You're getting ahead of all the freaking futures that could like not benefit you and the world. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that my bad. But manifestation has to do with that. So it's like you can like, or basically feeling the gratitude for the blessings that you have yet to receive. That is a part of it.
Yeah, being grateful, being constantly reminding yourself, being grateful for what you do have, not always just being like, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, but remembering like, no, you've got a lot of good shit. And there are people that would kill for your life. And what you do, and what you want to have as well. Feeling grateful for what you know you will have and who you know you will be while having that. I think X might have to rap a little bit. I was playing this the other night. X was rapping over it. I was like,
oh, not so he's gonna rap like spit. We're not rapping up.
Oh no, I was gonna say like spit. No, I'm not trying to put him on the spot though, but him and Bird both were spitting on this shit, and I was like, it made me feel good because like I feel like I can write hooks, but I can't write fucking verses. Like I can write verses, but they're disconnected and shit, and like.
Well, I mean, you're also, Aaron, you are emo, like fucking through and through. Like grow those bangs out a little more, and it's covering that eye. You know, like you're 3 inches away.
Fuck you, David.
Oh, it's a compliment.
Thank you.
One
I'm
of the
just
best looking guys I've ever met in my life.
I'm joking.
Survive. Aaron doesn't struggle. You know what I mean?
That's not true.
I think that'd be cool to get into some music here.
He struggles, but it's that struggle that makes him. It's like, dude, you've been doing this shit so hard. You don't even look like you're even doing it.
Doing what shit?
Exactly.
Being you. So as far as manifestation goes, I had to walk away for a moment, but I'd like to put my 2 cents in. In order to manifest anything, it's not just about wanting it and desiring it. It's also about making you the person that you need to be able to accept it when it happens.
It's literally what I was touching on. And also you can't even, as far as I know, you can't even be in the fucking situation to accept it unless you are that person. Mm-hmm. So instead of it just being your opportunities, it's literally like, it's hard to even be in a place where you could get those opportunities or have those opportunities unless you have become the person who is in the actual vicinity of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So I like to liken it to, you're a single guy and you're sick of all the women you've been with, and you know the woman that you want. I mean, you could even pinpoint her at the bar, but you could definitely tell. You could definitely tell your buddies like this. I want. She should be blonde. She should be 26 years old. She should be a professional. She should have no kids. Okay, that's fine. She should know karate. Okay, that's all good. She should be wearing a long, short skirt and a long jacket. Okay, that's all good. That's all good. Who are you?
Exactly.
Everybody has their shit.
And why do you think that you're in a position to get that dream woman? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But to be able to manifest that, you have to be the person that can attract that.
You have to be the actual person. You have to be the person who is the man who is actually worthy of being with what you want. And that's not even just a woman, but the woman is a great example because they're literally the reason why all of this, everything exists.
Take women out of it. You want to be
I'm
the
saying.
luthier of Colorado, okay?
Master luthier.
And you're going to manifest that. How do you do it? You're doing it right now. You're setting yourself into a position to be able to accept that manifest. But you can't take that manifest until you're the guy ready to take it, You can't be...
You won't even be there.
You won't even be there. It's just not even an option. It's exactly the same
You
thing.
wouldn't be there. I talk to my homies. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times they think I'm like sort of pretentious, but it's like not even that. It's literally which one does that one? The guitar one.
It's already pretty maxed up. I'm not trying to play too loud. I'm just keeping it. Keeping it light.
But yeah, I'll like talk to my homies and I tell them that like every opportunity, and I feel like I'm even paraphrasing myself right now, but every opportunity that you're not exhibiting yourself to be open to, in the sense of like, I can't take you to this fucking room, I can't take you to this party, I can't take you to this because I know who you are right now and I know what you're fucking liable to do. So it's the same thing in manifestation, where it's like, dude, you're not even at the art gallery right now, you're some whole other place. You might even be right by it, but you're in a completely different place, to the point where you could walk in front of the door on your way to the bodega and never even notice it's happening.
I love a good bodega.
Now, here, what about the opposite of manifesting? Which I would say is just allowing life to happen and not wanting anything, but just wanting to be who you want to be and seeing where that leads.
It's not even just wanting to be who you want to be, but it's literally being. So I don't think that's the opposite. I think the perspective could appear to be reciprocal, but it's literally, you're creating this image in your mind and you're just being that. So it's genuinely just being that, and you are that, and everything else around you, it doesn't necessarily like just fall into place, but I mean, it definitely appears to do that. The only thing that is the only thing that's different from it falling into place, or that doesn't look like it's falling into place, is all of the things and habits and people that are attached to your current identity conflicting with who you are becoming, or who you want to become.
I'm excited to see who you fucking end up becoming, because I like who you are right now. and you got wicked fucking potential, Lex. You're the man, dude. I'm glad you're in my life, dude.
Hey.
Like, for real.
Me too, my boy.
Like, for real.
What's our time at, Aaron?
We're at 2 hours and 21 minutes. I feel like we should go to One Up and
Yeah. Let's, X, can you put the headphones back on? Let us know what you're doing. Shout out to any projects you got. Anything you want people to hear about.
The projects. My main projects is the projects. Bitch.
Are you actually doing anything there, or is this just kind of lighthearted?
Huh?
Are you doing anything for homeless or, BIPOC community in the projects, or is that just lighthearted?
One thing, it was lighthearted, but I think for an example, I guess I'll shout out Cats Not Cops, which are a local. It's like a local nonprofit, and they actually help the homeless people in Denver to, I don't know, fucking
Find a way.
Yeah, like live their lives. They do what is that when you like feed people?
Charity and food drives and
they're actually like I know the lady who runs it, and she actually she hosts freaking every Wednesday. I don't know, it's getting kind of cold, so I don't know if she's doing it at the place she was doing it right now. But yeah, they feed the homeless. They provide friggin' personal items, like
socks, t-shirts,
underwear, tampons, hot hand, like literally whatever they can, because they function on like a donation sort of thing or whatever. I don't think I'm like really putting it like the way that it is, but yeah, Cats Not Cops, Denver.
Thanks.
And I'm not running that. Like it's just some good people that I know.
Oh yeah.
In regards to the streets, bitch.
Man, I'll just say something. I see that, and even in Aurora, Parker 225 is a big homeless community, and I just see it. It tears me apart. And, I've struggled with drugs myself. I'm lucky enough to have a family and a support system that have come out of it. So
You're blessed.
I don't know the solution. Yeah, I mean, anything you could get into where the money you donate is actually going to the cause, I think is like a good start for sure.
And if you see somebody on the street that's like super fucked out in their own way, they're delusional or they're drugged out or they got some issue with their mind or whatever, they want somebody, they need somebody to talk to. Just talk to them. Have a conversation with them. Make them feel like a human being. I'm serious. It goes a long fucking way. Have a conversation with them. You don't have to necessarily. Give them $1, fine. But just a conversation goes a long fucking way. And I'm not trying
to introduce yourself and say how you doing.
Yeah.
Let it go, man.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, play us out. This is Fortune Radio.
Fortune.
See, my ego don't feel no change, and I'm just a man. Some people I Can't pretend to be that Superman. Is weeping. The roses suspended upside down to maintain the structure of the flowers for hours. The cows haven't choose a side. Flowers, my tea's political. Fly with the people who could. It's passed down stories.
Fortune Radio.